Welcome back to another video, Max Forte. In this video, we're talking about the best discoveries in the world of fragrances of 2021. Not necessarily 2021 releases, because I've already done that for you guys, designer and niche. You guys can check those videos out. But this here, just fragrances that I came to discover for the first time in 2021, whether it be first impression or blind buy. So stick around, these are fire. These fragrances, let me just preface you here, they are going to be fragrances that are going to be not your run-of-the-mill stuff. This is going to be a lot of hidden gems, hard to find fragrances, but not so much hard to find, just, you know, not your run-of-the-mill that you're mostly hearing about out there. These are going to be fragrances probably, you know, under the radar, hidden gem fragrances that I'm very, very happy to discover and obviously to share with you right now. And just so you guys know, most of these fragrances are going to be more of the niche variety as opposed to designers. As you know, designers are more of the same for the most part, but I have a few designers here that are really amazing, and I'm very excited to let you guys know what they are. So we're going to start off with this one right here. As you guys know, Ferrari's pretty much discontinued all their fragrances when it comes to fragrance, you know, car brands that make fragrances. And this particular brand is really getting a ton of limelight, despite the fact this is a fragrance that's been around for a few years now. Just now it's getting the recognition it deserves. It's going to be Mercedes-Benz Club Black for Men. Now this channel, ladies and gentlemen, is a fragrance that is very similar to Spiritueux Double Vanille from Guerlain. Needless to say, a great boozy vanilla, patchouli, spice type of a scent that's sensual and very, very powerful. This next fragrance is from a house of Brioni, which they don't have many fragrances. Recently, they released a fragrance called Brioni Intense for Men, Eau de Parfum, that I can't wait to share with you guys as soon as I can get a hold of. But this one here was a fragrance that was released a couple years ago, and it's called Brioni, simply Brioni for Men. And why I love this fragrance is because this makes a perfect signature scent. Something that's easy to wear, very easy to please. You can just grab and go. You know you're going to smell great. It's one of those clean, very well, you know, mannered, you know, type of fragrances that you know it's going to be inoffensive. You're not going to, you know, piss anyone. And what this reminds me of, it's if you took Fahrenheit Aqua, that's been discontinued now, very hard to find and very expensive, and you mixed it with a gorgeous fruity fragrance from Bond No. 9 called Bleecker Street. That's what you get here. Needless to say, it's a great scent. And one that I just say, guys, try it. You're not going to disappoint. Definitely one of the best finds I made last year from the designer side of things. Now we're going to darken things up a little bit in the designer side of things. From the house of Hugo Boss, I think this is something that's kind of a hidden gem. Now it's getting some talks, but for the longest time, no one was talking about this because number one, it was hard to find. It was like European or Middle Eastern exclusive. Now you can find a discount website such as fragrancebuy.ca, which I highly recommend you guys check out for hard to find and rare gems just like this one. And this from the house of Hugo Boss is my current favorite from the house of Hugo Boss and also my favorite designer oud-based scent. And it's none other than Hugo Boss Oud Saffron. Now this is going to be a candied rose, leathery oud fragrance that is very, very, number one, powerful. Number two, just expensive smelling. You smell this and you automatically will think about private blends from Tom Ford, or you think about, you know, very expensive niche fragrance like Serjoff. It is one of those scents. It's not very cheap for a designer fragrance, but to me it's worth every single penny. Now this next one here is one that I'm really eager to wear as soon as the weather starts to turn, as soon as it gets warmer out. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love wearing my dark, my warm, spicy fragrances right now when it's really cold here in New England and New York area. But when the weather gets warm, this is something that's uplifting, invigorating, just a perfect, you know, warm weather type scent. And it's Illusione from Bottega Veneta, which I love. All their fragrances are very classy, very elegant, very sophisticated, you know, for the most part. And they all have this leathery kind of undertone, which I absolutely love. This fragrance has resins. It has a little bit of a balsamic feel to it. It's woody, despite of being citrus, and it's very strong for a citrus aromatic scent. So it's got some vetiver in here as well. So there's quite nice backbone and heart in this fragrance, which doesn't make it very ethereal, meaning it's not going to dissipate and disappear on skin very, very quickly. It's actually a long-lasting citrus aromatic fragrance that, again, I'm very excited to rock this springtime. Now this next one will finish off the designer fragrances. Everything else here is going to be indie or niche. This one here, guys, my favorite designer release of 2021. No, I take that back. Strike, reverse. This here, I think it was released last year or 2020, but it's just my favorite discovery when it comes to designer fragrances, guys. And this is from Lalique, a house that always puts out great fragrances for extremely good prices. And this is called Lalique White in Black. And what this is, when you smell this, I mean, I love it because it's long lasting. and I love because of the combination of smells that you get here. Now this fragrance here, guys, it's going to be, if you took Leighton from Parfums de Marly with a little bit of a tobacco and patchouli from Herod, and you would envelop that with a gorgeous dry down of a very sweet and tar-like dry down from Angel Man from Mugler. That's what you get here. It's like 3 fragrances wrapped into one for a great price. It's powerful, it's long-lasting, it's very compliment-inducing. So it checks all the boxes, guys. Check this fragrance out. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Come back here. Let me know how you do with this. So carry on here, the discoveries. This fragrance here, it is a new release, but it was also my discovery last year. This brand is brand new. It's from Italy. It's called Fragranze, Milano Fragranze, and the fragrance is DIURNO. And why I love this fragrance, ladies and gentlemen, it made a lot of my top lists because it is a fougere, but it's a neo-fougere of sorts. You have mint, you have lavender, but most importantly is the note of the amaretto that you have here, which adds this almond liqueur vibe to the fragrance, which really makes it stand out in the crowd, guys. It's one of those fragrances, if you're looking for a great signature scent to smell like no one, I would highly suggest this fragrance and also checking out the house. They have a ton of great fragrances. Get the Discovery Kit. I think you're going to be amazed by the quality and how great these fragrances are. DIURNO, one of my favorite discoveries of 2021 in the niche side of things. Now, when it comes to niche fragrance brands, this is a fragrance brand that I delved into very deeply last year, which is the house of BDK. Tremendous quality, great fragrances for guys, for gals, you name it. They have a great gamut of great fragrances to choose from. But this one here is the one that really grabbed my attention. I wore this a lot last year. It was my #1 from the brand and definitely one of my favorite discoveries. This is Wood Jasmine, and this has one of the best jasmine combinations I've ever tried in the fragrance, along with sandalwood, Mysore sandalwood. It's a little bit boozy. There's like a honey facet in here. I think there's osmanthus, which is one of my favorite floral notes. It is just regal smelling. It's incredible. Like I said, guys and gals will wear this, will smell incredible, and will definitely grab attention. If you haven't tried the House of BDK, definitely check it out. If you have tried, let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. What are your thoughts on this brand, guys? But this one here definitely takes the cake. Speaking of head-turning fragrances, one that blew my mind was from the house of Vilhelm Parfumerie, and it's called Chicago High. Another one that's androgynous, but from everything they have to offer, I think a lot of their fragrances are rather floral. This one here is a fragrance that contains 3 of my favorite notes: honey, tobacco, and leather. And it also adds this bubbly feel to it because it adds this champagne note, which is just to die for, guys. This stuff is amazing, amazing. I can't say enough. Chicago High, one of the best discoveries last year. I love this stuff. It's one of those, guys, if you really love to stand out when you walk into a room, you want the attention, definitely grab Chicago High. You're going to be very, very happy with the outcome of this fragrance. It's nothing like it, nothing like I've ever smelled. But if you do enjoy honey, leather, and tobacco, this one here does it perfectly. This next one, for those that do enjoy the note of leather, if you like a very powerful, almost skanky, animalistic leather, this is definitely one that you should consider. It's a must try, in my opinion. It's getting a lot of limelight. A lot of people are talking about it now. It got a lot of limelight last year for a reason. It's called Falcon leather from Matiere Premier. And again, guys, spicy leather, warm, just this cocoony effect, but it has a little bit of an oud here. So there is going to be this animalistic / medicinal, vibe to it. It's not going to be for everyone, but like I said, if you like a powerful and very heady, bold kind of a leather fragrance, this stuff here is a masterpiece. Now, if you guys follow this channel for the last decade, you know very well that I don't like, well, I should say that, again, I don't love floral fragrances. Over the last 3 years or so, I've been, digging a little more. This one here is called YLANG in Gold from the house of Micallef. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a gorgeous YLANG fragrance. It is called YLANG in Gold. You have the gold flakes in the fragrance or powder. It just looks incredible. And the scent is just one of those kind of fragrances that is just incredible smelling. You have coconut milk, you have patchouli, you have Mysore sandalwood, which is the best sandalwood you can get. You got some floral notes, most predominantly, of course, the YLANG, which is a yellow floral. And I love when my wife rocks this fragrance, but I also like to steal some sprays because, again, it's one of those fragrances, because it has oak moss in the base, it's going to have a little bit of a green facet dry down, which makes it, almost wearable for masculine, even though, or gender-free, whatever you call it, because this was marketed toward women. But I have to emphasize that this is by no way, shape, or form a just women fragrance. You could definitely rock this, and rock you should, because I'm telling you, it smells incredible. One of the best discoveries of last year, and one of my favorite floral scents at this point. It's safe to say it's in my top 10 favorite floral fragrances of all time. Hope you guys are enjoying my picks here, my favorite discoveries of last year. In fact, you guys can also discover fragrances without having to spend the money that I do with thousands of bottles. Just racking up the cost of fragrances that you might not even enjoy. You can try it before you buy it with Perfume.com. In fact, there's a new thing right now, which is like, you guys are familiar with the Max Pack that we do every season with the seasonal videos, spring, summer, fall, winter. This here is for the discovery. So every single top video that I make that it's, involving a lot of great things like discoveries, the releases, we're gonna have these for you guys, and they're magnetic. These are magnetic, casings. They're beautiful, very well put together. These are actually glass decants, which is the best possible kind you can get. And of course, they're going to be listed up here so you can mix and match from all the choices, like all 20 choices. You don't have to get decants for all 20 choices, but instead you can get the 10 top choices that you might want, or you can get 1 or 2, however many you want. If there's a discount code associated with this deal, I'm going to also link in the description for you guys. But these are great. And in fact, I'm going to have something very special for you at the end of the video, so stay tuned. Now, as I said to you guys, all fragrances on this list are not, on a countdown level. These are all great discoveries, but I have to say that these last 10 are definitely the ones that I loved and wore the most. So this little countdown, if you will, here at the 10th spot, I'm going to go with this fragrance, WULONG Cha from the house of Nicho. This is a tea-based scent with floral undertones. Black tea, some, florals, like white florals. This is very calming and it's very attractive at the same time. It's just a great scent that you can wear anytime, anywhere, and you're going to feel and you're going to smell great. Love the stuff. Made my top spring fragrances of this year, and it's one that I absolutely love. It's based in Shanghai, so, the tea that they use here, the Wulong tea with the black tea, a little green tea vibe, so it's like a mash of different teas, but I think the Wulong tea is the most predominant tea in this fragrance. And like I said, it's just one of those fragrances that just, puts a smile on my face. Staying in the, topic of, uplifting, bright, just vibrant, this fragrance here from the house of Parfumes, which combines 2 of my top passions in life, which is perfumes, of course, and music. And this one here is called Electro Lemonade. Now, this fragrance, ladies and gentlemen, is a gorgeous combination of citruses from the Mediterranean, along with a beautiful boozy note up top, some mint, which really brighten things up, and a beautiful rhubarb in the heart that adds this creaminess to the fragrance and really takes it up a few notches. It is right now by far my favorite citrus aromatic scent that I'm really looking to wear in the spring and summer of 2022. Just a great fragrance, guys. I think on this list, my favorite citrus of last year, and the brand itself, I'm really looking to dive even more this year because there's a ton of things that I want to discover and further find out about this fragrance brand to share with you guys here on the channel. But Electro Lemonade, just impeccable citrus aromatic scent. This next fragrance comes from a house it's a Canadian fragrance house, and it's called Zoologist, and I love what they do. The premise here is taking the fragrances that are made after the animals and their habitats, all transposed into these beautiful bottles, and this one here is called Bee, and I love this fragrance. This is love at first sniff for me because it has this absolutely perfect and natural smell when it comes to the note of honey. I mean, you spray this on, it's almost like I dab this into like a honey pot. It is that simple. It's animalistic. It's got all facets of the honey, profile, along with other elements like heliotrope. There's patchouli in here, some sandalwood to add creaminess to the fragrance, some sweetness, but it's not overly sweet. Again, it is a perfect raw, wild honey type of a vibe that I get with this fragrance. That simple. If you love honey, this is a must own. Forget about must try. Amazing stuff right here. Of course, I'm sharing some fragrances that you must own if you love fragrances, the way I do, the way I describe them for you. But some of these, I think it's definitely a must try. This particular brand is called Plume Impression, and I think it's a must try. Get the Discovery Kit, really get in there. These are incredible fragrances. I think for the most part, they lean a little toward feminine side. But this one here, and there's another one that I can't quite remember the name, but I'll pop it on the screen, are my 2 favorites. And this was a great discovery I made this year. I fell in love with it from the get-go because it reminded me of a fragrance that I wore for many years back in the 90s and early 2000s. The fragrance I'm talking about is this one right here from the house of Dolce & Gabbana, which is called By Men. And the fragrance that is very similar to it is this one here from Plume Impression called Que Tal. The difference here, they're going to be very, very similar, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking 85-90% close to it. Just fruity, ambery, spicy. This is going to be fruitier than By Man, as By Man is going to be spicier. But like I said, 85, 90%, very close. If you miss that fragrance, you know that fragrance fetches, you know, $500+ on eBay or discount website, not discount websites, or websites that sell, you know, vintage fragrances, but you don't know who you can trust when it comes to old school stuff like that. This one here will definitely fix your itch. I'm telling you right now, it definitely fixed mine. Love this stuff. TAL, one of the best discoveries of last year. I've been sharing with you guys many fragrances that I love to discover last year. Some that have tobacco notes, some have boozy notes, some have leather notes. This one here, a perfect rendition of the patchouli note. If you're a patchouli lover out there, this fragrance here is a must try, guys. Mea Culpa is the name of the fragrance, and the house is Vicanto. From Italy, this fragrance, ladies and gentlemen, is a potent, very, very powerful, skanky, spicy patchouli. But this it's even earthy. I mean, it's very dirty patchouli. What this reminds me is if you took Psychedelique from Javoy and you mashed it with Coromandel from Chanel, this is what you would get here, except this is dirtier and smokier. Simple as that, a holy grail type patchouli scent for those patchouli lovers. We're down to the last 5. This fragrance here, one of my absolute favorite discoveries last year. You guys know how much I love the note of tobacco. I love the note of honey. This is honey, tobacco, patchouli, oud. I mean, it's got a lot of powerful notes. It's long lasting. From the house of Zaharoff, signature tobacco is the fragrance. And I love what they're doing right now at Zaharoff, you know, taking different aspects of the signature fragrance and adding these predominant notes. In this case, of course, the tobacco, the honey. It is enchanting, is one word that comes to mind. It's that simple. If you love tobacco, guys, check this fragrance out. It is amazing. Now, this 4th to last pick here is a fragrance that really blew my mind for what they did here. It's a very different take on the Fougere classification genre. This fragrance here is a small bottle that packs up a punch. Let me tell you, from the house of Elysir, this is going to be Noir Extreme. This fragrance, guys, lavender, cinnamon, eucalyptus, ginger. I mean, it's a very powerful fougere with a dark, like a sombra, like a incensey, smoky facet to it. But it's just mesmerizing is how I would describe this fragrance. It's one that you can't stop going back for. You just want to smell more and more. It's just that simple. It's just captivating to me. I love this stuff. You know how much I love the genre of fougere, you know, the oak moss, the lavender. But then all these different elements added here just made it so incredibly done. And I'm in love with this fragrance. What can I say? All right, guys, at the 3rd spot here, 3rd to last, this fragrance here, amazing. A fragrance fit for a king from the house of Royal Crown. They don't come cheap. It's called Sultan. An amazing vanilla, dates, dried fruits, myrrh, tons of spices. It's almost boozy-like, like a liqueur type of infusion in here. It is just absolutely regal is the best word to describe this fragrance. Guys, check this out. You're gonna love it. So I purposely left these 2 picks for last because these are my favorite discoveries of last year. Every year with ScentXplore, as you guys may know or may not know, if you're hearing for the first time about ScentXplore, I'm gonna have the link below so you guys check out the website. We're going to be going on our 4th year in a row. It's an incredible event that puts together these great niche brands that people don't really talk about. They're kind of like hidden gems, just like these last 2 fragrances I'm gonna talk to you guys about and share with you. And the event itself brings people together. It's all about exploring, discovering, sharing, and connecting. And that's what ScentXplore is all about. Check the link below. You're gonna love it. If you're a fragrance lover like myself, it's the place to be. It happens every year in December, but I'll talk more about it. Stay tuned for announcements to come. So these last 2 fragrances here are my favorite Discover brands of 2021. Just like Agato Parfums was my favorite Discover brand of 2020. And who knows what is going to be my favorite for 2022. That's yet to be seen. This is going to be a brand called Ignacio Figueras, Jaipur. You guys know Ignacio Figueras, Nacho Figueras from Ralph Lauren. He was the spokesperson for decades for that particular brand, and he came up with his own niche brand. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, Jaipur is in the lines of those spicy leather fragrances, and I'm in love with this fragrance, guys. It's spicy, it's leathery, it's just warm, it's cocooning, it's attention-grabbing, compliment-inducing. It's very similar to Mitsa from Dior La Collection Privée, or even La Désert Marocain from TAL Parfums, but this is more wearable. It is powerful though. It's not one that you're gonna need mini sprayers, but it is absolutely breathtaking. That's simple. At the number 1 pick, or my favorite discovery brand of last year and fragrance, is going to be Plum and Cognac. You guys know how much I talked about this fragrance. It made a lot of my top lists because I love plum. It's one of my favorite fruits when it comes to fragrances. And of course, I love boozy scents. This is going to be smoky, it's going to be boozy, it's going to be just, you know, elegant, it's going to be sensual. Just a great scent. And I love what Scents of Woods are doing. I love their fragrance, I love their creations, I love what they do with, you know, embellishing these woods with different booze, you know, boozy accords, different floral effects and facets and nuances. It is heavenly. That's simple, guys. Plum and Cognac, incredible stuff. Check the brand out. In fact, they have a subscription where you get the fragrances that are up and coming before they're actually released, so you can try them before anybody else. And I highly recommend checking this brand out because they're doing something very exquisite and unique, which is what the fragrance world really is aching for, because there's a lot of the same out there, and these guys are definitely a few notches above that. Speaking of crew member and stuff like that, you know, membership programs, you know, there's a lot of companies out there that not deliver for the price you pay. Unlike Perfume.com, guys, you know I stand behind the things I talk about. It has my signature, my stamp of approval. They are incredible, amazing customer service. Great selection of fragrances, niche and designer, thousands to choose from. And if you are a part of the crew member, you know what I'm talking about. If you're watching this video and you're a part of the crew member of Perfume Crew, let me know in the comments what can people expect from this. I will give you a heart in your comment, and perhaps I'll give you a lot more, which I'll talk about after this little presentation here. So if you are a crew member, you're going to get these really nice, very well packaged, by the way. You get this beautiful pouch, and these atomizer are going to be the 8 mil atomizer that you get with, you know, the most talked about companies out there. And I think these guys deserve attention for what they're doing, guys. Just beautiful sprayers. This is actually Yop Homme Parfum, the new Yop Parfum that I wanted to try. So I ordered this for myself to share with you guys. And of course, if you are a crew member, you have access to the whole site to choose whatever you want to try the next month. Check it out, details below. There's a special code for you guys. And of course, I said I was going to have something special for you at the end of the video. And here it is for this video here. If it hits 1,000 or more likes, I'm going to be drawing this particular Discovery Kit, the best 10 choices for one lucky winner. Come back in about a week's time, week and a half's time. I'm going to pin the comment to the top of the winner so you guys can claim your prize. All I need from you guys is to like this video, 1,000 or more likes, be a subscriber to the channel, and of course, comment down below on which one of these fragrances sound most appealing to you. Thank you very much, guys, for hanging out with me today with these best discoveries of 2021. Stay tuned. I have a lot of great things planned for you guys in 2022. See you guys right here with another video very soon. Take care.